Hey everybody, Cinema Sickness here with your daily sickness video, and happy Monday to each and every one of you. Hope you guys are having an absolutely fantastic week thus far. I hope you guys had a great, fantastic, brilliant weekend. Hope it was a good one for you. Weather here was beautiful. Hopefully it was beautiful wherever you were, and hopefully you had a great weekend. We, of course, did, once again, celebrating Cinema Sickness Jr.'s first birthday. He's one now. That is still insane. It's, a day's gone by and I still can't get over the fact that I have a 1-year-old. That is nuts. So, again, hope you guys had a fantastic weekend, but back to the grind, back to work, back to school, whatever it is you have. It's just the way it goes. But, hey, just think of it. Only 4 more days, and then we're back to the weekend. So, gotta stay positive. But, all right. So, what I have in store for you today are some reviews and watching a lot of great stuff over the last week, and definitely got to talk to you guys about them. So let's just dive right in and take a look at what I've been checking out. We'll try to get through this as quickly as possible. So let's get down to it. So the first title here I checked out was one that I knew I was going to watch immediately. As soon as I picked this up, I knew I was definitely going to want to check this movie out. I definitely had to watch it because I'd heard great things about it and interesting things about it over the years. Plus, as a little bonus, when I said that I picked this one up in one of my daily sickness videos, a lot of you guys said I need to watch this immediately. So it was a no-brainer. I actually watched it the same night I picked it up, and that was Project Grizzly. This was a very interesting documentary. Literally real documentary about this guy, Troy, right there, who ends up getting in this confrontation with a grizzly, like years ago, got in this confrontation with a grizzly while out in the woods, survived it and whatnot, and then just decided to now dedicate his life to building a grizzly-proof suit. Little out there, little weird, very interesting documentary though. This guy Troy, I'm trying to think what the best way to describe him is. Like I said, he's a bit out there. He seems very sociable and stuff and has his friends and whatnot, but he still seems a little spacey, a little crazy. And I love the scenes where he's doing like karate and stuff, and he's wearing almost long underwear out in the woods, doing karate and stuff. And just the way he talks and stuff, it's just really amusing in a way. I mean, it's a documentary, and you never know about these if this is really the way the guy is, or they're trying to, they just captured all these weird things he said and just only used those weird things for the documentary to make him look weirder than he really was. I don't know, but definitely comes off a little bit different, a little bit out there. And it's just interesting that he's trying to build this grizzly-proof suit for, I can only grasp for only no reason whatsoever. They showed different prototypes of his suit, and it starts out where he can walk in the suit and everything, and by the time they're up to this prototype, he can't move in it. They had to lift him up and put him in and put this body over him and the head on top of him and everything like that, and strap him in. And he can barely move. He can walk a little bit. In fact, once they get him out into the field where there's a grizzly, he can't even walk through the field. They're basically saying, well, the grizzly's gonna have to come to us. We can't go to the grizzly because I can't walk through the field. So, really interesting in the way that this suit would prove to be of no use whatsoever, because you can't go walking through the woods in this or anything like that, because you can't walk in it. So interesting. The only downfall, the real major downfall with this documentary, even though it's very enjoyable, very interesting to watch this guy, learn about what's going into building this suit, why he decided to do it, and all that fun stuff. The downfall is the fact that he never actually gets into a confrontation with a grizzly bear. At the very end, they're trying to get him out into this field, and it's the territory of this one grizzly bear, and they've spotted the grizzly bear there, and they're hoping they can maybe get some confrontation going on, and it never happens. So the actual movie ends, the documentary ends with him never actually going up against a grizzly, and that's kind of a letdown. Actually, I should say kind of a letdown. It is very much a letdown, because you want to know, well, does this suit hold up? If a grizzly attacks him, is he going to survive? That's the whole thing. You want to know that. You want to know if this suit he built is going to do what he thinks is going to do, and we never find out. When the confrontation never happens, and that's a shame. It's definitely a letdown. So very enjoyable, very interesting. Just it's fun to watch this guy who's a bit insane build this suit, but in the end, the fact that he never actually goes up against a grizzly, has a grizzly attack him while in the suit, it's just That kind of, it definitely ended on a bit of a sour note for me, because I wanted to know. That's the whole point. They're building up this whole, he's building this suit, he's building this suit, he's putting it together, he's going to go up against his Grizzly, and nothing. Like, that's kind of what it is, and it's kind of a shame that's the way it happened. But otherwise, it's interesting, it's fun. I would recommend checking it out, especially since it's only 72 minutes long, so it's like an hour long. It is definitely worth checking out. Just watch an interesting documentary about a very strange man doing a very strange thing. But unfortunately, it will be a bit of a letdown in the end, since he doesn't actually battle the Grizzly. That's a shame. All right. Then I checked out a fantastic movie, one that I've actually never seen. I certainly know about this movie, but I never got around to seeing it, and finally picked up a copy, so I had to check it out, and that was Tarantula. Some great 1950s sci-fi right here, and oh my god, do I love these movies. This is great. Whole movie about this, the scientists experimenting with like radioactivity and building these, or creating these very giant, very large animals, one of them being a tarantula. Things go awry in his laboratory. The spider escapes and just becomes this huge, gigantic tarantula wreaking havoc, and they gotta put an end to it. And it is so much fun. It is bizarre. It is crazy. It is 1950s sci-fi cheesy goodness, and I can't get enough of it. This is a sci-fi movie done right. They're cheesy, they're bad, they're goofy, but, at the same time, it's like, at least there's some effort put into it. It's fun, it's campy, but it's really, really, really enjoyable. And when done right, it is enjoyable. And I love Tarantula. So if you like 1950s sci-fi, if you are a fan of classic sci-fi movies, Tarantula is one not to miss. Check this one out. I don't have much more to say about it. It's literally that. Scientists creating giant animals. Tarantula escapes. You gotta stop it now. But it's awesome. Alright, so like I said, Tarantula. Sci-fi done right. Not for some sci-fi done wrong. I checked out The Giant Claw. About time I finally watched this movie. It's gotten some notoriety over the last few years from James Rolfe, the angry video game nerd. He talks about it quite a bit. And from that, like I said, it has gotten a bit of notoriety over the years. And finally decided to check it out. And, yeah, about as bad as everybody says it is. Again, this is sci-fi done wrong. A movie like Tarantula, you can tell there was some effort put into it, just from not only from the special effects, but the acting, the writing, everything like that. Yeah, it might be. I'm sure this was thrown together. I can't imagine this. There was like when these movies were big and popular, I'm sure they were just kind of like thrown together a little bit. I'm sure this isn't the next Gone with the Wind or something like that. It's a movie about a giant tarantula. It is what it is, but it's done fun. It's enjoyable. There was actually some effort put into it. Whereas The Giant Claw, on the other hand, not much. The first of all, The Giant Claw, a horrible looking puppet, which you can see the strings from and everything. Really bad. We're talking like Ed Wood quality puppet here. Although Ed Wood probably wouldn't even put that much of a budget into it. I'm sure it cost a little bit of a budget to build that giant claw. Unless he happened to come across a bird puppet for free, he would have used it then. But bad special effects. The plot was just ridiculous. It's just okay. There's a giant bird who came to Earth to lay eggs, and now we got to stop it. And just everything from again, I'm just gonna say, just go check out James Rolfe, the Angry Video Game Nerds review of this, because I don't have much to say. Everything from or I don't have much anything different to say. Everything from calling it a giant battleship 365,000 times in the movie. I'd say at least a quarter of the dialogue is the words battleship. You got that going on. You have of course the classic oh look, it must be a pattern, which is this a couple X's on the screen, and instead of drawing like some kind of straight line, they go, oh, he's going on a swirly pattern. Like, where the hell did you get that from? Goofy, ridiculous, over the top stuff like that could work if done right, but it just seems like this was literally it seemed like it was just slapped together so quickly to capitalize on the sci-fi trend that was going on at the time. This really looked like there was no effort put into it. You might look at it and go, a low budget movie. This, I guarantee, had a lot more of a budget than this movie did. So The Giant Claw, I would say 1950s sci-fi done wrong. 1950s sci-fi done right. 1950s sci-fi done wrong. It just didn't seem like there was effort put into it. Bad plot, bad acting, bad movie, just all around. Now, with that being said, it does sort of have some charm if you like 1950s sci-fi, because it is really bad, and you can kind of look at it kind of like, well, it's kind of fun then. So I would actually recommend checking it out if you're into 1950s sci-fi, if that's your thing. I would say watch The Giant Claw, at least see it once. You got to see it at least once, in my opinion. So check it out. I don't think it's one you're going to be coming back to. I don't see myself ever watching this again. Things like the Tarantula and stuff like that, and just classic, great 1950s sci-fi. I'll go back to those movies over and over and over again. Whereas The Giant Claw, I'm glad I saw it. I would say it's definitely worth seeing once, but will I ever watch it again? Probably not. So, yeah, Giant Claw. Not so good, but I think we all know that by now. Then I checked out a movie that I had heard good things about as well, and that was Goon. Finally seeing this movie. I remember when this movie came out, a lot of people all of a sudden started talking about it. It was just one of those movies where I had never really heard anything about it, and then it got put on DVD and Blu-ray, and then all of a sudden, like, everybody started talking about this movie for at least like a couple weeks, and then it sort of disappeared again. So finally came across this for $5 at Walmart, picked it up, checked it out, and it was a great movie. I love this. All about just hockey goons. It's a couple of fans of hockey. There is Sean William Scott, who is he's a bouncer, but he's really good at fighting. He can kick some ass. He can take hits. He's just like, kind of just a mutant of whatever you want to say, of like strength. Just great at kicking ass and taking names, and good at taking all the hits as well. And he gets in a fight with another hockey player. The coach sees him. He basically ends up saying, like, hey, come and try out. He doesn't know anything about skating or anything like that. He knows something about hockey, but not about like skating or anything like that. Never really skated before. So they have to train him and everything like that. But they end up basically just training him to be a goon. Just a guy to go and kick some ass in the games. They don't really care if he can score a point or not, or how well he plays. They just want to beat people up, basically. So it's all about kind of like him kind of coming to terms with, is he okay with that? Is he okay with just being a goon? Or does he want to be something more? Does he want to be recognized as a true hockey player and not just some guy who got beat up a lot and beat people up a lot? And very interesting, very funny, very enjoyable. Goon is one to check out. Even if you're not a fan of hockey, it is still very fun, and I would definitely recommend Goon. Just a lot of fun. If you like sports movies, or if you don't like sports movies, it is one to see. So Goon, fun movie. Definitely check it out. Alright, so then I checked out Deliver Us from Evil, which, call me stupid, like a minute ago, I just realized, oh look, devil. I don't know why I never realized that before looking at the artwork. I know you're thinking, really? You just noticed that? Yeah, I just noticed that. Deal with it. So, Deliver Us from Evil. That's the best way to describe this movie. I tend to really enjoy, like, the demonic possession movies. When it comes to movies with, like, monsters and stuff like that, I don't really get scared by those, because I know that monsters aren't like a real thing. I know that, a zombie, well, I mean, who knows, I guess maybe zombies, but for the most part, I know a zombie isn't, for the most part, real, or, vampires aren't going to come and get me, or, stuff like that, whatever. I don't really get scared by that. But what I do get kind of freaked out by is, like, demonic possession, or ghosts, or stuff like that, because, ghosts are, like, one of those things where it's, like, even demonic possession and ghosts, stuff like that, both things that I'm, like, I don't know if they're real, I don't know if I believe in them or not, but at the same time, it's, like, I don't not believe in them, so I watch these and I go, man, that could be real, like that's why The Exorcist, in my opinion, is the scariest movie of all time, because watching Reagan get possessed and everything, it just freaks me the hell out, because I'm in my back of my mind, I'm thinking, this is all real. So, these movies tend to freak me out. I really tend to enjoy them. And there certainly were some creepy moments within this movie, but in the end, it was just kind of okay watching this cop try to solve this demonic possession sort of case, trying to solve this case, and coming to realize that it has to do with demonic possession thanks to the help of a priest, and they have to stop this evil demonic possession that's being spread. It's okay. I didn't hate the movie, but I didn't love it. So really, in the end, Deliver Us from Evil is just one of those movies where I'd say, if it's something you want to see, check it out. But if you really have no interest, then you don't need to see it. It was just mediocre, in my opinion. So again, if you want to see it, check it out. If it's something you've been thinking about, if it's something you're like, man, I really want to see this movie, sure, see it. It wasn't bad. It'll keep you entertained, But in the end, will it be something you want to rewatch over and over again? I don't think so. So I'd have to say only watch it if it's something you really want to see. Otherwise, you don't need to see it. Spend your time checking something else out. Go watch The Exorcist again. It's a much better movie. Or even it says from the director of Sinister. Yeah, see Sinister. Sinister was a much better movie, and the director of The Exorcism, Emily Rose, also a better movie. So this director made 2 much better movies. Check these out. Go watch them. Stay away from Deliverance from Evil. You don't need to see it. All right, then a documentary here, another documentary. Watch Einstein, How I See the World. Great documentary on Albert Einstein, which is really cool because I knew some things about Albert Einstein already, but I didn't really know anything like in depth about him. For whatever reason, I've never really seen like a major documentary on Albert Einstein before. Even though documentaries are my favorite genre of film, and I have tons of documentaries, this is my first one really strictly about Albert Einstein. I've seen ones where they've discussed him and stuff, and they talked about him a bit, but this is my first ever one fully just Albert Einstein documentary. This was a great PBS documentary. I loved watching this so much. I learned a ton about Albert Einstein that I did not know. All sorts of goodies. This is one to check out. If you've not seen a great Albert Einstein documentary, see this one. I really enjoyed the hell out of this. And very cool to learn a lot about the man because, like I said, I just didn't know enough about him. I certainly find Albert Einstein very interesting, and it's a shame that I'm only now just realizing, only now just finding out a whole bunch of stuff about his life that I did not know before. So great documentary, as PBS documentaries tend to be. All right, another very good documentary. Really enjoyed this one, and apparently many of you did as well because many of you left comments saying you love this, and that is Comic-Con. Episode 4, A Fan's Hope, which I still have the little action figures stuck to it. Very, very fun documentary, all about, sort of all about Comic-Con. They do talk about Comic-Con a bit, obviously, they have to. It is a documentary about Comic-Con. But really it focuses on a few different people. There's one group of people who really want to get into making costumes and doing like special effects and creature costumes and stuff for movies, and it's a group of people who are into that, want to do that and do it in their spare time, like in their garage, and they want to enter this contest at Comic-Con, and they want to win and be recognized and hopefully get into the field. It's about that. There's also another probably one I like the most. There's this couple, and this couple who's dating, and the guy is going to propose to the girl, to his girlfriend he's been dating for like a year now. He's going to propose, and he's going to do it during a Kevin Smith panel, and it's kind of hilarious watching it build up to that because he can't get away from his girlfriend. His girlfriend just is attached to his hip and just will not let him leave. And he has to come up with these like really bizarre reasons to get away from her so he can go get the ring and stuff. And it's pretty amusing. And then watching him finally propose is pretty awesome as well during the panel, which is great. There's another guy who you feel really bad for, who is a guy who wants to be an artist. He's trying to get into the field as an artist, and he's not really there. There's so many more people better than him, and people kind of tell him that. It's really fun to watch these people who these artists and stuff for different comic companies who he's being interviewed by, and looking at his work, basically trying to as nicely as possible, saying no, you don't have it. It's really bad, and even him looking at other people. There's a scene where he's looking at other people making copies of the work and looking at it going oh my god, that's so much better than me. It's really sad and depressing, but at the same time very enjoyable to watch, even though it is again very, very, very sad and very depressing to watch this this guy not really make it. That's the worst one. Everybody else in this documentary seems to come out pretty good. They kind of seem to somewhat be where they want to be in the end of it, whereas this poor guy unfortunately does not, and it definitely is a shame. But not every story can end happy. So anyway, I'm not going to go too much more into the documentary and too much into who's in it, but very well done documentary. Definitely worth checking out if you have any interest in comics whatsoever or Comic-Con. It is worth seeing. Pretty cool. I really enjoyed, I guess I'll talk about one more person. I really enjoyed the guy who runs the big comic store, and how he starts talking about how Comic-Con really is no longer about comics. It's very, very little bit of Comic-Con nowadays is actually about comics. And he's this big comic seller. He has this huge big warehouse and sells comics at Comic-Con, stuff like that. And sales just aren't what they are anymore, and comics aren't really the big thing. You go to Comic-Con, you expect it to be about comics, not so much. And it's fun to listen to him talk about how things have changed and whatnot. Although things look to be bad for him in the end of the movie, but then you find out things actually kind of working out for him, so that's good. So Comic-Con, episode 4, A Fan's Hope. Check it out. Definitely an awesome documentary, and I think many of you would agree, as many of you left comments saying you loved it as well. All right, then I quickly popped in Batman and Robin and Other Superheroes on VHS. This one was weird. This one was put out to capitalize on the 1989 Batman movie. This came out, in 1989, and it basically just shows like clips from things like Batman, Green Hornet, Superman, Captain Marvel, and other like serials and clips from TV shows and stuff like that. Really just talks about kind of how like these superheroes kind of came to be, through serials and then in the TV and then into the 1989 Tim Burton, Michael Keaton Batman. And it's not really much to talk about. I really wouldn't say this is something you need to have or see. It is just what it is. It's just a bunch of clips of stuff, again, like Batman, Green Hornet, Superman, Captain Marvel. It's stuff like that. You're Flash Gordon, things like that. You're going to just see a whole bunch of clips of this stuff, and that's about it. They're going to be like, oh, in 19, blah, 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 the Green Hornet came out, and then you'll see a clip. That's pretty... I didn't bring a glass of water with me this time. My mistake. But that's pretty much how this goes down. Just a bunch of clips. It's a clip show. But it is somewhat interesting. I'd say if you're a big Batman fan, you want to pick it up and add to your collection. But otherwise, you don't need to see it. It is what it is. It's only 15 minutes long, and it's just a bunch of clips. And it was put out in 1989 just to capitalize on all the hype that the Tim Burton movie was getting. Amvest Video, I guess, felt, hey, we can make some money on the... all the buzz that's going around right now, and that's pretty much what they did, because I think all this stuff, most of this stuff was probably public domain, or they got it for cheap and just slapped it on a VHS, so it is what it is. Oh, wow. Then a depressing movie. The Hunter. Damn, was this movie depressing. This was a very sad movie. William Dafoe is going after, he's basically been sent to track down a Tasmanian tiger, which is supposed to be extinct. If you don't know what Tasmanian tiger look it up. It's actually kind of fun. When I heard about this movie, I was really interested in checking it out because I'd actually read about Tasmanian tigers in the past. I remember seeing like a little documentary on them and starting to Wikipedia them and read up on them and stuff. So interesting species that is extinct now. But he's going into the woods because apparently there's one that still exists, and he wants to find it. He doesn't really know what's going on at the time. They just say go find it, bring back some samples and stuff. So that's what he's sent out to do. And he ends up befriending this family of a guy who basically kind of says he found the Bengal tiger who's gone missing. I mean, okay, spoilers here, like always. I do tend to spoil stuff in my reviews. Sorry, but a bit of a spoiler here. So here we go. Ready? All right. So depressing. William Dafoe ends up finding out that the father of these people who he's befriended, the father and husband of these people who he's befriended, who he's staying with, is dead. So he's dead. He got a bullet to the head. He finds his body, he finds his skull. There's a bullet hole in his head. So he's been shot. So all right, he's dead. You think maybe you're gonna come across, he's gonna come across this guy with a big beard who's been out in the woods for like a year or something like that. He's gonna come across him eventually. No, he does come across him, but he's dead. This is the hard part. The people he befriends is the wife of the guy who's gone missing, and the daughter and son. Well, the wife and the daughter end up dying in a fire. Okay, the cabin they're living in is burnt down, and they're dead. So they have this little orphan boy. William Dafoe, and again, big spoiler here, William Dafoe at the end of the movie does end up finding the tiger, shoots it. So there you go. Now the species is definitely extinct. And then you think, all right, well, he's done something really bad. He's killed this tiger. All right, so he's at least going to take it back to the laboratory or back to the college so they could do what all the experiments they want to do on it, because apparently we find out that there's some rare venom or toxin or something like that in the tiger that they want to use as I don't know, they want to do studies on and stuff. So you think, all right, well, he's done something bad, but at least he's going to take it back, so at least they can use it for what they're going to use it for. No, he just burns it. So it's like, oh my god, you didn't even kill the tiger for any reason. And at the end of the movie, he's looking at the tiger, and he's looking at his sights, and he puts his gun down. You're thinking, he's going to let it go. Then he just goes, boom, and just shoots it. It's just depressing. Like, nothing ends on a good note. I mean, at the very end of the movie, William Dafoe and this little orphan boy now, like, meet up and they hug and stuff. But, I mean, that's not a happy ending. I mean, maybe if, like, the little boy went off to live with William Dafoe and they lived a happy life together, I guess. But, holy crap, this kid's sister and mother were burnt alive. He was lucky to survive. A species that was thought extinct turns out not to be extinct, but now is extinct because William Dafoe has killed it. He doesn't even do anything with the body. He just ends up burning it. The father ends up being dead. It's like just depressing. However, it was an enjoyable movie. So very depressing. At the end of the movie, it's just like, geez, that's not what I said to myself. As soon as the movie was over, the first thing I said was, well, that was depressing. But it was an enjoyable watch. It is a good movie. I would say watch The Hunter. It was actually a very enjoyable movie. I loved the story. It's just depressing as all hell. So The Hunter, see it. I know I just spoiled a ton of it for you. It is what it is. That's how these reviews go. I tend to spoil stuff, but I don't know, guys. If you're like me, I don't care about things being spoiled. I still want to check the movie out, so whatever. I warned you guys. Anyway, still, if you're still watching this, check out The Hunter. It is one definitely worth seeing. But again, very depressing. And then because one depressing movie was enough, I checked out 187. Also a depressing one. Look at this artwork. This is this is like a, what is this? Is this Philippines? Where was this put out? I don't know. No, I'm sorry. This is actually from Hong Kong. So a Hong Kong video CD release of 187. Cool artwork. Although look at Samuel Jackson. Samuel Jackson, like the biggest name in the movie. You see the back of his head. That is all we get of Samuel Jackson. That is kind of weird. I don't know what that's all about. But this is one of those movies where I thought to myself I hadn't seen it until I popped it in and started watching it and realized, okay, I have seen this movie. About like 15 minutes into it, I was like, I've seen this film. So, interesting movie. I actually kind of like where it starts going, where Samuel Jackson is a teacher in this kind of like really ghetto school. Ends up failing this kid because the kid isn't doing his work. Ends up getting deserving what he gets. But the kid, of course, ends up stabbing Samuel Jackson, and Samuel Jackson leaves there and ends up becoming a substitute instead. And he becomes a substitute at this other ghetto school, and now he has to deal with basically going through basically all the fears that he has and whatnot of getting back into things, and basically into a very similar school and into a very similar situation, and ends up becoming like a full-time teacher for the year. He's going to finish out the year as a sub. So very interesting watching him kind of deal with his fears and whatnot. But then the movie like takes his turn and becomes like totally badass, because you're watching these kids who are just like these complete douchebag kids in this school, just gangbangers and kids on drugs, and just like some of the most horrible, degenerate people you've ever seen. These kids are just trash. And you kind of want to see them get what they deserve. Well, Samuel Jackson starts giving them, dishing out what they deserve, and starts killing all these kids. I'm like, wow, okay, this movie just took a turn for the awesomeness. He's going out just murdering these little bastard children who are totally getting everything they deserve. This is awesome. I love it. But then at the end, takes another like 180 turn where his kind of like main Samuel Jackson's like main like enemy throughout the entire film, this one kid who he's just bashing heads with during the entire film, ends up going to his house to kill him, and then they just end up playing a game of Russian roulette, straight out of the Deer Hunter, literally straight out of the Deer Hunter. They're watching the Deer Hunter like earlier in the movie. So they play this game of Russian roulette, and Samuel Jackson ends up blowing his brains out, and then the kid ends up blowing his brains out as well, and you're left with like both characters in this movie dead with their brains blown out. Very interesting, very depressing, but at the same time very enjoyable. I just love watching Samuel Jackson just go out and just kill these kids who are like, damn straight, these little bastards deserve everything they get. I love watching that part. It was fun to watch Samuel Jackson just go apeshit on. That was great. So very, very cool. So 187, interesting movie, depressing movie, but one I would definitely say to check out. So 187. See it. All right, last movie here I checked out. I can't physically hold up a copy and show you as I only have an ultraviolet digital copy of this, and that is Woman in Black 2 Angel of Death, which already I was like, that is like the worst name for a movie. Woman in Black 2 Angel of Death. It just sounds like crap. So, horrible name for a sequel. Don't like it. But with that being said, was the movie any good? No, I really did not like the movie. The original Woman in Black, I thought was a great movie. I loved that movie. I gotta watch it. In fact, I really want to watch it again now. The movie has, I know I'm reviewing another movie now, but I have to. The first movie, the story is just okay. It's not an amazing story. It's nothing that's gonna blow you away. It's not this great, big, grand, awesome story. It's just it's good. It's just nothing mind blowing, at least in my opinion. What makes the movie so incredibly well done and so incredibly fantastic is the atmosphere. This movie will have you creeped out. This is one of those movies I'd say turn off all the lights and watch in the dark, because the atmosphere in this movie is creepy as hell. You're going to think things are like creeping around your house and watching you and looking at you. You're going to think the Woman in Black is like, you're going to look at a dark corner and be like, did I just see the Woman in Black? It's one of those movies. The movie had just the creepiest atmosphere ever. And I watched this movie. I did that. I watched this movie in the dark in my house, and I didn't want to, it was one of those things where I'm like, do I want to get up off the couch? Like I was freaked out just because the atmosphere is so amazing in the movie. So creepy just for the atmosphere alone. But the story is good as well. Like I said, it's nothing mind-blowing. It's not the most fantastic story ever, but it is a very enjoyable story nevertheless, and the atmosphere is brilliant. So if you haven't seen The Woman in Black, see it. I highly, highly recommend it. Woman in Black 2 is just really just kind of the same story rehashed, only without the super creepy atmosphere, and just not done as well. That's it. You're kind of watching somewhat of the same movie again, because it's sort of, you're still dealing with the Woman in Black who's still going after the kids for the same reason, and you got different characters, sure, but it's kind of just the same story again, and it just seems like a not as good version of the first movie, and that's not a good thing. Sequels should not just be I hate that. I hate when a sequel is really nothing more than the first movie, again, just not as good. That's just a horrible, horrible, horrible sequel in my opinion. The sequels should not be that. Sequels should be something else, something to stand on their own. Even if not done well, at least if it's something that can stand on its own leg, that's awesome. But when it's just leaning against the first movie, trying to be the first movie, then I kind of have a problem with it. And that's what Woman in Black 2 is. It's just trying to be the first movie again, get different characters coming to the house for a different reason, but, okay, Woman in Black's here, now she's going after the kids, and they got to stop her and find out why, she's doing what she's doing and put an end to it. It's the same movie again, but again, maybe it could have been saved with, again, creepy atmosphere. It doesn't work this time. Yeah, they're in this house, but I think the thing is, too, is like, they're in this creepy house, but in the first movie, they built up a lot of suspense. Daniel Radcliffe in the first movie, there's a lot of, like, creepy stuff going on. He goes out to the house a few times. He spends some time there. It's a lot of, like, getting kind of... The house really becomes... The atmosphere really becomes a character in the first movie, where you're getting creeped out by, like, every scene in this house. You're getting more and more creeped out because they're really showing you the creepiness. They're really showing you the atmosphere, the creepy atmosphere of this house, and how the house is creepy, and the Woman in Black being in this house and haunting this house, and what makes it really, really creepy. I mean, I'm getting my hair's like standing up on its end just talking about the first movie. It really creeps me the hell out. But again, they build up the atmosphere and make it almost its own character in the first movie. Whereas in the second one, I guess they're just saying, well, you've probably seen the first one. You already know the house is creepy. And, you gotta build up the suspense again. You gotta really show us, remind us why this house is so creepy. Not just be like, oh, it is. Remember the first movie? It is creepy. All right, let's get down to the movie. That's not good. So Woman in Black 2, Angel of Death. God, I hate saying that name. But, not good. I was really disappointed in it because I love the first movie so much. It was brilliant. Again, if you have not seen the first movie, please see it. It's awesome. Very creepy movie. I would highly, 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 highly recommend it. But Woman in Black 2, Angel of Death, you do not need to see it. Again, I guess if you really want to see it, if it's something you really want to check out, okay, but I don't think you're going to enjoy it, and there's really no other reason to check it out other than just for some weird reason you're dying to see it. Like I was. I was actually really interested in seeing this movie because I liked the first one so much, but had I heard from a bunch of people that it would just really sucked, I wouldn't have been as excited. So take it from me, it's not very good. See the first movie, love the first movie, enjoy the first movie, embrace the first movie for the awesomeness that is Woman in Black, and then stay away from Woman in Black 2, Angel of Death, because it has a stupid name and it's a bad movie. So all right, there you go. That's it. That's everything I checked out over last week. So watched a lot of great stuff. I mean, yeah, Woman in Black 2, not so good. And I mean, that's really bad. I'd say Woman in Black 2 was really bad, not to see. Deliver Us from Evil, like I said, it wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible. It was just okay. It was mediocre. So it's an alright movie. And even though The Giant Claw is a bad movie, I'm going to say that it's a horrible, horrible movie. It does still have that great 1950s sci-fi charm, and even though I'll probably never watch it again, unless like I have a friend who like maybe a friend who like really wants to see it, we watch it for a joke or something, I guess, but just on my own, I'm probably never going to watch it again. It is still something I would say you have to see it. If you're a fan of 1950s sci-fi, you have to see the movie. You can't go without not seeing The Giant Claw. It is something you must check out. You must see at least once. So I'm not mad that I watched it. It is what it is. I wasn't really expecting much from it, and I didn't get much from it, so I can't really complain. So really, again, Woman in Black 2 is the only thing I would say that I watched last week that I say stay away from. Everything else, check out. So, all right, guys, there you go. That's it. So, like I always say, if, God damn it, I'm talking about the Woman in Black 2, and I just heard a creepy noise from literally on the other side of the wall. I don't like that. I'm literally talking, I'm like, what, like, freaking me out. So, man, I really should not have been talking about that movie, because now I'm thinking about the movie and how creepy it is, and I hear noises on the other side of that wall over there. I don't like that. That's not cool. And I'm in a basement. That's not cool, but anyway. Alright, now I'm going to get all creeped out. So, alright, if you liked the video, please give me a like. Just click the little thumbs up tab down below. It takes 2 seconds. It means the absolute world to me. I'd really appreciate the support. Also, if you're not already subbed, please do. I do a brand new daily sickness video every single day. Collection updates, unboxings, reviews, cinema hunting videos, looks into my collection, just looks into my sickness for cinema on a daily basis. So, by all means, hit the subscribe button. I'd really appreciate the support there as well. And also, if you are not already subbed, please, or no, I already said that. I'm thinking about that noise on the other side of the wall. I'm talking to you guys and trying to do my little spiel here at the end, but thinking about the Woman in Black on the other side of that door when I open it up later on tonight. Not looking forward to that. So, okay, so if you're not watching this video over at cinemasickness.com, down below there is a link. Click on that link, head over there, check it out. There's a lot more to see there than just these videos. I do post these videos there, but there's a lot more. All kinds of great updated information and stuff on like what I find when I'm out and about, deals, all kinds of stuff, what I'm watching, all kinds of great stuff over at cinemasickness.com, including these videos, but a lot more. So definitely check that out, including free codes. I post a lot of free digital copy codes over there, so definitely check that out as well. While you're there, you can check out everything from Team Sickness. If you like my videos, you can like their videos. All you gotta do is click on the Team Sickness tab. And also while there, be sure to click on the merchandise tab. Purchase yourself a Cinema Sickness button, a Cinema Sickness hat, a Cinema Sickness t-shirt. This is just one of 16 different designs you can choose from. We got satchels now, all kinds of great stuff, hoodies, tank tops, all kinds of awesome stuff for you to purchase. And again, all proceeds simply just going to be putting some more gas in my car so I can head out and shoot some more great videos for you guys. So I'd appreciate your support there as well. And you can find links to all my social media sites, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Amazon, Listia, everything. It's all there at cinemasickness.com. So by all means, follow me on those sites as well. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I'm going to go now and get murdered by the Woman in Black. So that's going to be fun. So again, hope you guys had a great weekend. Hope you're having a great week. And I'm going to go die. See you tomorrow, guys. No, I'm not going to see you tomorrow. Maybe I come back as a ghost or something. I don't know. Probably going to go die. Some of the kids came back. The kids came back as ghosts, right? Yeah. So maybe I'll get lucky. But I'm not a kid. See, I'm an adult. I think I'll just be murdered. I'm thinking way too much about this. All right, Woman in Black. Going to get me. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow if I'm still alive. Bye.